Welcome to the RSVP Northern Virginia podcast, where each week we'll take a look at some of the outstanding volunteer opportunities available to seniors in our area. I'm your host, Rob Paine, an outreach assistant with RSVP.
Hi, this is Rob Paine with RSVP, and welcome to our newest podcast. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Danica Hawkins of United Community Ministries. Welcome, Dana. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at United Community Ministries?
Hi, yes. So I am the new Volunteer and Community Relations Coordinator at United Community Ministries. And so UCM services District 1 of Fairfax County, and our goal is to really empower our community so that every person in our community makes sure that no one is homeless or hungry.
Could you tell us a little bit about the boundaries for District 1, just to give our volunteers a general idea where that is?
So that's about the 495, so the Beltway down to Fort Belvoir is the main, it's Route 1 corridor.
The Route 1 corridor. What type of, as far as when you all are looking for volunteers, what type of volunteers are you looking for as far as, what do they do? What do they do at United Community Ministries?
So we've got a little bit of everything. The fantastic part is we have 10 different programs, and they go from addressing most of them addressing basic needs. So one thing we really always look for with regards to our professional volunteers are our case managers for our Stepping Stone program. So counselors to see what the client actually needs, see how can we help them with emergency eviction prevention or utilities help or emergency food, things like that. So really specialized, but also we have more general volunteer opportunities as well with regards to helping at our food pantries, stocking shelves, working in our thrift store, sorting through our donations, things like that. So we really have all different types of opportunities based on skill level and also interest.
Great. And one of the things I know that RSVP really pushes to our folks is it doesn't matter if you have 2 hours a week or a month or 100 hours, we can find something for you. It sounds like your organization sort of goes by the same way.
And one thing we really push for with regards to RSVP volunteers is we have an early learning center, so it's kids from age 6 weeks to 5 years old, and you can come in for 20 minutes in between appointments, or you can come in for an entire day helping out, holding kids, interacting with them, helping implement some of the teaching plans that we have. So that's one thing that we're really trying to push for some of our retired volunteers who maybe want to just come in and do drop-by volunteering, or if you want to have a regular schedule as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Are there any certain qualifications to be a volunteer at UCM?
Not particularly. It really depends on the program. Of course, so if you want to help out with our Stepping Stones Basic Needs program, we do need licensed social workers. But if you want to work in our food pantry, the only requirement is that you wear sneakers.
Excellent. That's easy enough. Talk about the trends in the Route 1 corridor in particular. You mentioned to me earlier today, we're here at an RSVP meet and greet, lunch and learn, and you'd mentioned to me that the situation's getting a little more tougher for affordable housing, things like that. So that increases the need, and you need more volunteers.
Oh yeah, so we're in Fairfax County. We're the second highest median income of any county in the United States, and yet it's 76,000 people are food insecure. Food insecurity is a huge issue, not just in Fairfax County, but we have the highest concentration here in the Route 1 corridor. I said 76,000, 30,000 of them are kids. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from. We are classified here, and so we have several areas on the Route 1 corridor that are classified as a food desert, which means people have no way of low-income families who have access to healthy, nutritious, affordable food. That means people who have to walk more than a mile to get to a grocery store to get fresh vegetables.
Boy, even on Route 1, gee, that's something. And just go again on just some details on how you all specifically deal with the food issue. Now, you have a food pantry.
Yeah, so our food pantry is incredible. We're open 5 days a week right now, and we are based mostly on donations, which is fantastic. We have so many members of the community coming by, dropping off things from their garden, or doing large food drives. We serve 80 to 100 families and individuals every single day for emergency food.
Boy.
Which we serve
Great.
thousands every year. And we're coming up on our time where we're going to be getting a lot of donations with our special events like Scouting for Food. And of course, everyone really feels like giving back during the holidays, which is amazing. And so we get a lot of donations in, but then we do kind of drop off in donations after the holiday season. So we really are looking for more people. If you want to organize drives, if you want to help us out in our food pantry, sorting what donations we do have, that's a low period, and that's one thing we're actively starting to seek out now to put that in people's minds. Excellent.
That's great. So there's just a large variety of things that RSVP volunteers and seniors can get involved with. Let's see. Then how are there certain reasons you like getting volunteers from RSVP? Is there any benefit there?
Of course there is. I mean, you're talking about people who have not only different work experiences that they can share, but also life experiences. One thing we're seeking out right now as well is in our community centers. Were you an accountant before you retired? Can you help do financial literacy classes? Or do you have another hobby that you just want to share with some kids? We're really looking for things like that. That's the best part about the RSVP program is we have people who have worked and who have these lovely hobbies, skills, activities, passions, who have the time and motivation to really help out and give back.
That's great. That's perfect. That's perfect. And most of the volunteer work, the location, is it done at your office? Can folks do it at their home? Are they driving around? You touched on that a little bit earlier, but just again, if someone is out there wondering, okay, I want to volunteer for UCM, but where am I going to go? What are their options?
Yeah, so we have our main office off of Route 1 on Fortson Road. That's where our food pantry is, and that's where all of our social work is done and our case management. And a lot of our special events, like our back to school backpack program, our holiday gift room. But we also have our different programs are located in different places around Route 1. We've got our early learning center off of Bryant. We have our community centers down in Sacramento. So it's all really within a 5-mile area of span of Route 1, which is really easy to get to by car. And also we have buses that go straight down and bus stops right in front of Sacramento Center, right in front of Hopkins Lane, and so it's very accessible.
Now, another big event I think you all have coming up is the gift room. Could you talk a little bit about that, since probably when this will come out, a few weeks, and so it'll be very into the holiday season, probably once Halloween is over. Could you talk a little bit about the gift room?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. We are filled to the brim with amazing toys. We get submissions from Toys for Tots. We get kids who do drives at their school. We get companies who get toys for us. And so what we do is we are trying to make sure our clients have choice. We do that with our food pantry. Our food pantry is client choice. And we're going to do that the same thing for our gift room. You're not just getting a nondescript bag of toys for your 9-year-old son. You're going and you are shopping. And that's, I think, one of the best parts, because really dignity is so aligned with having choices. And I think a lot of these people who we're serving, they've had their choices taken away from them. So we get our whole room, our whole office ends up being devoted to gifts. Clients register ahead of time. And they come in for a 1-week period, and when they're registered, they get to come and shop, quote unquote, shop for their kids. And so we need lovely volunteers to do all of the prep work for that, sorting through their donations as they come in, helping them be set up. And then the day of, taking clients around, making suggestions, making sure you're a friendly face. And it is a truly wonderful experience be able to help parents out in such a way.
And when does that program culminate?
So we're already in the works of doing some of the groundwork. But it really gets into full swing right after Thanksgiving. And it's the 15th, 16th, and 17th is when we actually do the distribution. So it's a lot of work from Thanksgiving to mid-December.
I bet it is. I bet it is. And like you're saying, it's more like a store experience. I mean, where they don't have to buy anything, but it's not where they just say, okay, here you take this, here you take that. It's a real choice. And let's see, what's the other thing? There was one other thing. Oh yeah, just mention again, if you haven't mentioned, the number of toys that you all collect. Was it? I thought I read last year it was somewhere like 10,000.
We can't even put a number on it.
It is that much.
It is thousands upon thousands, because it's not just toys. We're also doing. So we also do coats. We have books, which I consider a toy, but maybe the kids don't consider a toy. Every family is going to get a large gift, a small gift, some sort of activity, puzzles, cards, some sort of game where they can interact with their family, a book, and maybe a coat if we have enough. So think about that, and we're doing, I think, maybe like 2,000 kids.
Great.
We're getting one of each of those things.
Great.
So we're again, got toys coming out of our ears by
Good
the
deal.
end there.
Good
Yeah.
deal. Well, that sounds like a really cool project, and everything you do is fantastic. Just in closing, if there's anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about the program, about your volunteer needs, the community, anything, I think.
Yeah, I would just urge people to come by and check it out,
Okay.
even if they can't commit to a full shift.
Okay.
Specifically, I think it's really good to start out at our food pantry.
Okay.
It's really humbling, and it's a really amazing experience to do it at least once, and you really do get in touch and kind of get a full grasp on your own privilege and
Right.
being able to balance it out with giving back to the community. With that said, we've got opportunities for every interest, I believe, for every interest.
It sounds like it, yeah.
So if there's something that a volunteer is interested in, we'll try to make that fit best, because we have these needs. Like I said with our community centers, do you have a special skill? Maybe you don't want to work in our food pantry,
Right.
but maybe you know sign language and want to teach it to kids for one day.
Right.
That's fantastic. You never know what is useful. So I would encourage people to reach out to me and to our organization to see what they can do if they're interested and have a few hours.
And languages too. I think one of the volunteers from your organization mentioned earlier, there's always that need for somebody to translate Vietnamese, or as an example.
Exactly, yeah. So something that's not necessarily program specific, but if you do have a language skill,
Right.
we have our highest number of speakers here. It's Spanish and Vietnamese,
Right.
and we have a really large Afghani population. So we got some
Wow.
Pashto and Dari, where
Wow.
we're in the office completely ignorant, unfortunately, and trying to learn a few phrases. So maybe someone can come by and teach us a few
Great.
phrases.
Well, I'm sure maybe we'll reach some people with this podcast and advertise on our website. Danica, I want to thank you again for coming in today and taking part also in our Lunch and Learn. We've got several coming up for the rest of the year, so please check out our RSVP website. And your website is
UCMagency.org.
excellent. Okay, and you're also you have an open invitation if somebody wants to drop by and just check out and see what you guys
yeah.
do. You've got an open door. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you again, Danica, for being here. Continued great luck in what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And that should do it for today's podcast. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. Be sure to join us every Wednesday for a new edition of the RSVP Northern Virginia podcast. For more information on RSVP Northern Virginia, to learn about some of our upcoming volunteer opportunities, please visit our website at www.rsvpnova.org. On behalf of Nadia Hoonan and Carly Hubicki, thank you again for joining us. And remember, RSVP Northern Virginia, matching great volunteers with great opportunities.